Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
All right. Morning, everybody. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa filling in for Jess Hilarious. Let's get in some
Drop
front
on the
page
clues bombs for
news.
Kendrick Lamar, not like us. Man, when the Dodgers win the World Series, they're going to be playing that song so much, if they're not already playing it so much already.
And what might the Dodgers...
Tonight is game 4. We have to play one game at a time, take one game at a time. Yes, the Dodgers did win last night 4-2, but we have game 4 tonight.
Andy, how many teams have come back from 3-0 in the World Series ever?
None.
Okay.
One? You said one? Who?
No, it wasn't.
They said none.
None.
The World Series,
3-0
none.
in the World
None.
Series. 0.
None. I looked it up. They said 0.
One butthole.
The Yankees could change that. Okay. All right. What up, Morgan?
I'm not sure. Good morning, y'all. Hey, MV, Charlamagne, Lauren. Good morning to y'all. Okay, so the countdown for Election Day, Tuesday, November 5th. 7 days away. On top of the front page news is you making sure you exercise your right to vote. With that said, President Biden, he officially casted his ballot in this year's presidential election yesterday. He traveled to his hometown of Wilmington, Delaware.
Who did he vote for?
He doesn't know.
I don't trust him. Who did he vote for?
He doesn't know. What hat was he wearing?
Was he wearing his MAGA hat when he voted? Who did he vote for?
Here we go.
He was outside of my hood, though.
Okay. Shout out Delaware. Shout out Wilmington.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So he did that yesterday morning before getting back on the campaign trail for Vice President Harris. Which, wink, wink, maybe that's who he voted for. If not for himself, that. Anyways, let me not get too much into that. Okay. So after voting, he spoke to reporters about calling for a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war, and he also shared his thoughts on former President Donald Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden. Let's hear those comments from Biden after voting.
Just simply embarrassing. It's beneath any president, but that's what we're getting used to. That's why this election is so important. Most of the presidential scholars I've spoken to talk about the single most consequential thing about a president's character. And he puts that in question every time he opens his mouth.
Yeah, so his character. So Biden also said it's dangerous to think that Trump could be in touch with Russian President Vladimir Putin about what's going on overseas in the Ukraine and Russian war. He also called Elon Musk's $1 million giveaway for registered voters who sign a petition in support of free speech and the Second Amendment totally inappropriate when a reporter asked if it was election interference. The president said it was totally inappropriate. So far, 42 million people across the country have voted early. Last week, Democratic Vice Presidential nominee Tim Walz, he voted early in Minnesota alongside with his son. Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Trump have yet to cast their ballots. Biden is scheduled to be back on the campaign trail today. He will speak to Baltimore and also travel to Pennsylvania. What's that, Shar?
I just want to say something. See, this is what I be having a problem with when sometimes these folks be talking about individuals. Like, what Elon Musk isn't doing, it's not just inappropriate, it's potentially illegal. Mm-hmm. So why don't they call it what it is? This is why people don't understand, the consequences of things, and this is why they don't understand, what the true threats are and what the real problems and why when people are doing wrong, because they don't call it wrong. It's not inappropriate. It's potentially illegal. The Justice Department already warned Elon Musk that, what he is doing is potentially illegal.
Yes, by violating the Logan Act is what you're speaking of, or in reference to the Logan Act, which says that, basically you cannot interfere with elections or, bribe people or use your influence to sway elections in any kind of way. Speaking of
but
which...
what is potentially?
Let me
take that
back. It's not potential. The Justice Department warned Elon Musk's America PAC that his $1 million sweepstakes to registered voters in 20 states may violate federal law. That's it. Yeah. So why are they saying things like inappropriate? Call it what it is.
All right. Well, speaking of inappropriate, we definitely should call this what this is. Speaking of ballots, speaking of elections, you guys know what's happening out in Oregon and Washington State. Yes? No?
Yes.
Okay, so authorities say the fires, there were fires set at ballot boxes in Oregon and Washington State. They are linked. The fires at 2 ballot boxes in Portland area yesterday have been linked through the discovery of incendiary devices to a fire at a Vancouver, Washington ballot box earlier this month. Now, Portland police have identified a suspect caught caught on video saying it appears to be a black or dark colored 2001 to 2004 Volvo S60 that is missing a front plate. And anyone with information, of course, should reach out to authorities in regards to that. Local law enforcement and FBI are investigating those fires, damaged ballot boxes in Portland and Vancouver. Mike Brenner with the Portland Police says they have a lead on a vehicle of interest. And we'll also hear from Multnomah County Elections Director Tim Scott, who talks about how the fires were extinguished and what happens next with those ballots. Let's hear from the Portland officials.
Through that collaboration and analysis of surveillance footage, we have identified a suspect vehicle connected to this.
The fire suppression devices inside the box extinguished any fire almost immediately. We were able to clearly read the voters' names on those ballots, so we will be reaching out directly to those that were impacted.
Yeah, so 3 ballot boxes were damaged, and county elections are contacting those voters. I'd be mad if I had to, I'd already cast my ballot.
My mom went to do early voting yesterday, and where she's always been voting for years, they changed the location, but they didn't send out any notice to people. So there were so many people that didn't have, they were trying to figure out ways to get to these new locations. Mm-hmm. And she was like, that's just so, a lot of people didn't have the transportation. They had people at carpool to this one location, but they didn't send out any notification early enough to let you know that it was changing, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
See? All right, y'all, pay attention out there. We'll get caught up with what's going on the campaign trail with Trump and Vice President Harris at 7. So stick around for more front page news then.
All right.
She'll be calling us this morning.
That's
too,
right.
The Vice President.
Sure will. Everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open again. 800-585-1051. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Laura LaRosa filling in for Jess. And let's get in some front page news. Last night was a horrible night for New York sports. The Yankees lost to the Dodgers 4-2. Game 4 is tonight. It's do or die tonight.
I do want the Yankees to win. Well, if the Yankees win tonight, to go back to L.A.?
You go back to L.A. No, fifth game in New York.
Fifth game in New York.
Yeah. So we had the fourth game, fifth game in New York, and then sixth game is back.
Well, go ahead and close it out tonight, LA. Because I like to see teams win the World Series or the Super Bowl or the NBA championship in their actual hometown. Mm-hmm. And LA's been having such a great year because of Kendrick. So that would be dope. But nah, it ain't gonna go. They're not gonna win 2 more games.
All right, my Knicks lost last night, and the Giants lost to the Steelers 18-26.
Congratulations.
All right? Your team lost too. What up, Morgan?
I'm congratulating the Steelers. What I got to do with the Giants?
Ooh, tomatoes. Good morning, y'all.
No.
Good morning, Envy, Charlamagne, Lauren.
Get out your feelings. No.
All right, y'all. So, yes, the countdown is on. Election Day, Tuesday, November 5th. 7 days away, officially a week away. And on top of the front page news, it's making sure you exercise your right to vote. Vice President Kamala Harris and running mate Tim Walz, they held a rally in Michigan last night where she made her final push for votes in this upcoming election. Let's hear those comments from VP Harris in Michigan.
We can keep going all night. But one of the reasons we will win is because we are all in this together. We are all in this together. People from every walk of life, understanding that the vast majority of us have so much more in common than what separates us. And we here are fighting for the future. We are fighting for the future. And we understand the opportunity that we have before us to turn the page on the fear and divisiveness that have characterized our politics for a decade because of Donald Trump.
Yeah, so any thoughts on that?
She'll be calling in at 8 o'clock. She'll be calling in 8 a.m.
I do have a question. So tonight or today is her last rally, right? It's her last rally, and she's doing it on a ellipse. Why?
Yeah.
Why is today the last one?
She's doing it on her lips.
No, ellipse. Ellipse is the basically south of the South Lawn at the White House. So I will actually, or I'm actually supposed to be attending that rally. I'm not sure why
Tonight's not like a rally. Tonight is like her closing speech. She'll still be on the trail over the next few days.
Okay.
Yeah. Tonight is just like her closing speech to America.
Why are they calling it the closing speech then if she's still going to be out and about?
Because it's probably her last major speech before the election. That's why.
They're saying this is going to draw quite the crowd tonight. Projected something like 20K should be there. And there's also speculation around the symbolism that the location is the same of that where Donald Trump spoke on January 6th when he was saying, stand back and stand by and all of that.
Yep.
So yeah, she will be addressing a crowd from that same location. Meanwhile, former President Trump, he held 2 events in the battleground state of Georgia yesterday where he called the state great and beautiful and full of patriots. So he does know how to be nice to people, right? He asked voters a question in his final push for the White House. Let's hear those comments from Trump's rally in Georgia.
So I'd like to begin by asking a very simple question. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? I don't think so. I'm here today with a message of hope for all Americans. With your vote in this election, can you imagine 7 days? We, not me, we will end inflation. We will stop the invasion of criminals coming into our country, and we will bring back the American dream. We're going to bring it back. We're going to bring it back. We're going to bring it back so big and so beautiful. Our country will be bigger. Our country will be better and bolder and richer and safer and stronger than ever before.
That's a lie, though. I was
going to say, it sounds so nice, right? It sounds like so nice.
But when he says, are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? 4 years ago, we was in COVID, okay? It was a pandemic. Depending on where you at, we were all in the house. And we were in the house because of the mishandling of the COVID-19 pandemic because of Donald Trump.
You know what's crazy?
COVID
was such a time. It don't feel like 4 years ago. It felt like it's literally, but it feels like it just happened still. Like I feel like I remember being in the house and being scared and like trying to figure out what was about to happen.
We might have just been getting back to work November of 2020. Matter of fact, I think we came back. We came back once in September because that's when I announced the Black Effect Podcast Network. And then I think we might have came back maybe October, November. I don't remember.
I'm telling you, I would forget the year too if I didn't have a baby that year. I was one of those. Yep.
Oh, you had a COVID baby?
I sure did. Yep. If she wasn't walking around 4 years old right now, I would have forgot the whole thing. But Trump went on to say that the nation needs religion because it's like the glue that holds it together. He also on the campaign trail, J.D. Vance, Tim Walz, they will be in Wisconsin. So we are down to the wire here, guys. Get out and vote if you can early, and exercise that right. So let's bring things home to New York because that's where y'all based out of. Governor Kathy Hochul, she is vowing to protect voting rights and monitor public safety during the 2024 general election. The governor says she has teamed up with New York State Attorney Letitia James and other agencies to respond to anything that may stop someone from voting and ensure election integrity. Let's hear more from New York Governor Kathy Hochul.
New Yorkers should be confident that no matter where you live or where you vote, you'll be able to cast that vote safely and without issue. A recent poll shows that 62% of Americans, 62%, worry about post-election violence, that it could be at least somewhat likely. Now that's extremely disturbing. And to promise you that New York stands ready to manage any election-related protests, demonstrations, or whatever in the hours and days following November 5th.
There will be post-election violence. Especially if the vice president wins, there will definitely be pockets of post-election violence. There will definitely be a bunch of people around the country who will refuse to certify the results of the election. Like it's gonna be hell, if the vice president wins. It just is. Like I don't know why we acting like it's not going to be. We know it's going to be hell. Come on.
How long do you think before the results come down? Last time, or I was going to say last year, 4 years ago, it took a few days. So do you think it'll take a few days this time around?
It took a few days, but
it depends if it's close or it depends on, if somebody wins by a significant amount. It depends. But there will be post-election violence if the vice president wins. And they are going to try to steal the election. If they're going to try to steal the election regardless.
The world we live in is just so crazy.
Stop the steal. So let me wrap it up with this. A Pew survey reports a majority of Americans believe that we'll have a clear winner for president. 58% of Trump supporters say they're confident that it will be clear who won the presidential election after all votes are counted. That number is higher among Harris supporters at 85%. So we will see what happens. We've got less than a week away. It's really exciting. So again, yes, go out there and vote because democracy is on the line. That's your front page news. I'm Morgan Wood. Follow me on socials, y'all, at Morgan Media, MorgynMedia. And for more news coverage, follow at Black Information Network or download the free iHeartRadio app and visit us at BINnews.com.
Thank you, Morgan.
Thank y'all.
Wake that ass up. Early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.